New Year Resolutions by Dilbert Jazz. It was New Year's Eve, and Sarah was in a panic and had always been a bit of a procrastinator. She had let her lack of motivation hold her back in the past. But this year, she had made a list of resolutions at the beginning of the year and had vowed to accomplish them all before the clock struck 12 on New Year's Eve. As the day went on, Sarah realized that she had only completed a fraction of what she had set out to do. She had wanted to learn a new language, volunteer at a local shelter, and start her own business, but she had barely made a dent in any of those tasks. She was overwhelmed and worried that she would never be able to accomplish everything on her list. But Sarah was determined not to give up and knew that she had the potential to achieve anything she set her mind to, and she was determined to make the most of every opportunity that came her way. She was determined to make the most of the time she had left and accomplish as much as possible before midnight. As the hours ticked by, Sarah tried to accomplish as much as possible. She had always wanted to learn a new language and had made it one of her resolutions for the year. With the clock ticking down to midnight, she knew that she had to act fast if she was going to make any progress. She spent the morning at a language immersion course, determined to at least learn the basics of Spanish before the end of the day. Despite her lack of attendance throughout the year, she was a quick learner and could pick up on the basics relatively easily. She worked hard, immersing herself in the language and practicing as much as possible. As the day went on, Sarah was amazed at how much she had learned. She had always been a bit of a procrastinator and had let her lack of language skills hold her back in the past. Sarah was determined to change that and had thrown herself into the language immersion course with all of her energy. She was thrilled at how much progress she had made in just a few hours and knew she could accomplish even more in the future. As the afternoon approached, Sarah knew that she still had a lot of work to do if she would achieve all of her resolutions. But she was determined to make the most of every opportunity that came her way and was confident that she could accomplish anything. In the afternoon, Sarah rushed to the animal shelter, eager to lend a helping hand. The staff were grateful for the extra set of hands and put Sarah to work immediately, tasking her with cleaning cages and feeding the animals. Sarah was more than happy to help out and enthusiastically threw herself into the work. As she worked, Sarah couldn't help but smile at the adorable animals surrounding her. She loved working with animals and was determined to make volunteering at the shelter a regular part of her routine. She knew that she had a lot on her plate, with her business and language learning goals to focus on, but Sarah was determined to find the time to help out at the shelter whenever she could. Sarah worked hard for the rest of the afternoon, cleaning cages, feeding the animals, and providing them with the love and care they needed. Exhausted as the day came to a close, Sarah was satisfied knowing that she had made a difference in the lives of these animals. As she headed home, Sarah knew that she had a lot of work ahead of her, but she was determined to make the most of every opportunity that came her way. She was excited to see what the new year would bring and was confident that she could accomplish anything she set her mind. As the evening approached, Sarah sat down at her computer and began working on a plan for her own business. She had always dreamed of starting her own greeting card company and had made it one of her resolutions for the year. She had always been creative and loved writing, so it was no surprise that she wanted to start a business that would allow her to combine these two passions. Meanwhile, her partner Alex was at home, cheering her on and offering encouragement. Alex was laid back, easygoing, and always up for an adventure. Despite her busy schedule and successful career, she never seemed stressed out or overwhelmed. She took things in stride and was always ready to go with the flow. "You've got this, Sarah," Alex said as Sarah sat at the computer, typing away. "I know you're worried about getting everything done, but you're capable of anything you set your mind to. Just keep going, and you'll get there." Sarah looked up from her computer with a tired smile. "I know I can do it. It's just that I let myself get so behind. I can't believe it's already New Year's Eve, and I still have so much to do." "Well, you can't change the past, but you can focus on the present and make the most of the time you have left," Alex replied, giving Sarah a reassuring squeeze. Sarah nodded and turned back to her computer, determined to make the most of the time she had left. She knew that starting a business, especially in a small town like theirs, would be challenging. But she was determined to make it work and was confident that her greeting card company would be a success. Sarah spent the next few hours finalizing her business plan and setting up her website. She was determined to make the most of the time she had left and get as much done as possible. She worked tirelessly, poring over every detail of her dream and ensuring everything was perfect. She had always been creative and loved writing. She knew her cards would be unique. She was particularly excited about the line of greeting cards she was creating. She spent hours brainstorming ideas for heartfelt messages and designing beautiful covers for each card. Her greeting cards covered every occasion, from birthdays and holidays to just because, and she wanted her cards to be a source of joy and inspiration for people worldwide. She was confident that she had something exceptional to offer. As she worked, Sarah couldn't help but smile at some of the messages she had written. A card said, "You are my sunshine on a cloudy day," and another read, "You make my heart sing." She was proud of her work and was excited to share it with the world. As the clock struck midnight and the new year began, Sarah was exhausted but satisfied. She had managed to complete many of her resolutions, and even though she still had a long way to go, she was proud of herself for her progress. She vowed to continue working hard and not to let procrastination hold her back in the future. Sarah knew that starting a business would be challenging, but she was ready to put in the hard work and dedication needed to make her dream a reality. She was confident that her greeting card company would succeed and was excited to see what the future holds. As the night went on, Sarah and Alex discussed their goals and plans for the new year. They both had big dreams and were determined to work hard to make them a reality. Sarah was excited about her greeting card company's potential and determined to put in the time and effort needed to make it a success. She had always been creative and loved writing, and she was confident that her company would be a hit. Alex supported Sarah's dreams and encouraged her to follow her passions. She was proud of all Sarah had accomplished on New Year's Eve and knew she could achieve anything she wanted. As the night came to a close, Sarah and Alex retired to bed, exhausted but happy. They were both excited to see what the new year would bring and were determined to make the most of every opportunity that came their way. As they drifted to sleep, Sarah and Alex knew that no matter their challenges, they were in it together and could overcome anything as long as they worked towards their goals and supported each other every step of the way.